Hi, Jane.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. So, I first want to say thank you for coming to our intake assessment session. When we spoke last week briefly, we discussed you coming in for this first session, and you were eager to come in. So, again, thank you for coming. The agenda for today and how this intake assessment is going to go is I'm going to ask you a series of questions to get to know you. The questions will be about your demographics, your family history, information about your hobbies and your jobs that you've had, and just questions that will allow me to understand you a little bit better so that we can set up a treatment plan, okay?
Okay.
Okay, awesome. So, first, let's start with demographics. So, can you please start with your gender, your age, and your ethnicity?
I'm 26. I'm Irish, and I have blonde hair and like bluish green eyes,
Okay,
and I'm 5'5", so I'm kind of petite.
sure, sure. And are you happy with your current physical appearance?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great, great. Next, I want to ask you a little bit about your family. So, what was your family like growing up in the home?
Growing up, I was an only child, so it was just me and my two parents.
Sure.
And when I was just getting out of high school, like 17, 18, my mom and dad actually both ended up getting sick. So my mom has now passed away. She had ALS,
Mm-hmm.
and my dad passed away. He had COPD.
I'm sorry to hear that. Was that recent?
About 5, 6 months ago.
Okay, yeah, that is pretty.
Um, But before they passed away, my relationship with them was fine. I was closer with my mom, but for no reason other than I was just closer with her. My dad and I had a good relationship too.
Sure. And growing up, were your relationships with your parents always positive?
Yeah,
Okay,
they were.
good.
Me and my mom were like best friends.
That's lovely. So you felt supported by your parents growing up?
Yes.
Okay, sure. Next, let's talk a little bit about your any cultural or ethnic influences. So, tell me about that. Did your family celebrate specific holidays? Did they have specific traditions?
Our favorite holiday was St. Patrick's Day. We would always celebrate together, and we would have corned beef and cabbage.
That's great. Is that something that you want to continue doing as your own tradition to carry on?
I think so, yeah, definitely.
Uh,
It'll make me always remember them.
Absolutely. That sounds like a really positive memory. Let's talk about values next. Do you have specific values?
I like I said, I'm an only child, so I would love to have a family of my own one day to, instill the family values and morals into my own family. I practice my Christianity, so I think having that and just, respect for others and love and admiration for your family is really important.
Sure. Yeah, that's beautiful. It's understandable as well. How about mental health? So I know that you're here, seeking out treatment. Is this your first time coming to treatment?
Yeah.
Okay, so your first time seeing a therapist?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sure. Um, have you ever been prescribed any medications before to help treat any mental illness?
No, I
Okay,
haven't.
okay, all right. And are you aware of any mental health in either of your parents?
So my mom ended up passing away first.
Mm-hmm.
And she had about 5 years of her ALS before she passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think originally the doctors were not sure what her diagnosis would be, or
Mhm.
maybe I just wasn't told.
Mhm.
So I think when she was initially diagnosed, she ended up getting depressed over finding out and realizing that she had a short amount of time left.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't know if she ever saw a therapist. And then my dad, he passed away 6 months after,
Okay.
and he had COPD. So um, I don't think the COPD caused him to be depressed, but I think he was heartbroken and depressed when my mom had passed away.
Okay. Sure. And have you
And I
ex-
think he saw a therapist.
okay. And have you experienced any feelings of depression recently?
I think I'm absolutely depressed and sad and just hopeless.
Sure. Sure. And that's something that we can work on in treatment. Like I mentioned, this is an intake assessment to learn more about you so that we know what we need to work on together. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Um, let's transition to any significant life event. So, what's your marital status?
I'm single.
Okay.
So I've actually never had a serious relationship of just a couple flings here and there throughout high school and college, but no serious relationship.
Okay.
And I feel like I want to be in a relationship. I'm 26, so I want to have a significant other, but I'm not sure if it's that time right now to get involved in a relationship because of my current mental health.
Sure. Sure. I understand that. These next questions that I'm going to ask you, if you need to take a break or if you need me to rephrase them, please just let me know. Um, have you ever experienced abuse or neglect?
No,
Okay. Growing up, did you ever experience a death of any loved one?
my mom and my dad, but um, as a child, thankfully, none of my immediate or extended family has passed away.
Okay.
So I still have my mom and dad's relatives. They're all still alive. They're in Maryland, though.
Okay. So you're in New Jersey, there in Maryland. So
Mhm.
what's communication like between you and those extended family members?
Not much. Growing up, when my parents were in good health,
Mhm.
we would spend time with them and share holidays together because we're, a big Irish family.
Mhm.
But I would say probably when I was in middle school, so maybe like 12 or 13, we started to lose communication with them.
Okay.
So I'm not close with them anymore.
Sure. Is that something that you would be interested in looking into, is reintegrating those family members back into your life?
I think so.
Okay.
I think it would help me and them because we could relate over, their sisters or brothers. They
Mhm.
have my mom had two sisters and my dad had one sister,
Okay.
so they could relate to me over the loss of my mom and their sister, or my dad and their brother.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also mentioned earlier valuing family. So if it's something that
Mhm.
you're interested in reintegrating back with them and learning about that side of your family a little bit more than you have previously, that's something that we could look into.
Okay.
Okay. Let's talk about your hobbies. Tell me about those.
So I love to read, and I go on walks in the evening
Mhm.
to, go look at the sunset and just kind of breathe in the fresh air. And I have a cat, so I play with my cat and just spend time snuggling her.
Mhm. Sure. Those are great. And some of those that you mentioned not only are hobbies, but also coping skills. So it sounds like you have some ways to regulate yourself and to self soothe already, which is really positive.
Mm, yeah.
How about your educational background?
My bachelor degree is in library science.
Cool.
So I would love to eventually one day be a librarian in a school. But I'm having trouble finding a job in a school because it's more competitive than other opportunities.
Hmm.
So that's my goal, but I haven't had much luck getting there. So that's part of my hopelessness and just feelings of frustration.
Sure. And that's totally understandable. It's a specific sector that you're looking to get into, but maybe we can, broaden your search a little bit. And again, that's something that we can continue to work through. Okay.
Mhm. Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to ask you about your family medical history. Did we talked a little bit about their mental health, not feeling that you're aware of, no mental illness that ran in your family. Um,
Mhm.
were there any medical concerns? I know, at within the past 5 years, your parents had those medical diagnoses, but did you know if anybody else, like your grandparents, had any medical concerns?
Um, I don't know if my grandparents had any medical concerns, but my dad was a heavy smoker.
Okay.
So I think he picked up that habit from his parents because, as far as I know, they were smokers, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't really seen them since I was 12 or 13, so I don't know for sure. And I think
Okay.
when they were smoking, they were trying to hide it from me.
Okay.
So I would say that my dad's family has a history of maybe COPD,
Okay. And
um, but I'm not sure. And I don't think my mom had any severe health concerns on her side.
okay. All right. And are you a smoker?
No,
Okay.
no, I'm in good health. Thank God.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that too. And how about alcohol? Do you drink alcohol?
I don't drink alcohol um, other than like socially, but
Okay.
I haven't really hung out with my friends in a while just because I kind of lost touch with them once I became my parents' caretaker full
Yeah.
time. And it was hard to juggle between full time college
Mhm.
student and caring for both my parents. So
Mhm.
every once in a while, but I would say no more than maybe like once or twice a week, maybe 2 drinks per week.
Okay. And were your parents ever heavy drinkers?
No,
No.
no.
Okay. Okay. And the last part that I want to talk about is any significant dates. So I know that about 5 or 6 months ago, you lost both of your parents. Are there any other significant dates or a timeline that you want to provide?
Um, my mom, when she passed away, she was 55.
Okay.
And my dad was 5 years older than her, so he was 60. But it was April and then October.
Okay.
So I think that's really it. I feel like I started getting overly emotional and hopeless and sad and that depressed feeling probably maybe a month or 2 months leading up to really coming to an end with my mom.
Okay.
So probably the beginning of this year. So I've been feeling this way for um, maybe 10 months.
Okay.
But
Okay.
my dad was around for until October. Um, so I had him to kind of lean on, even though
Mhm.
he was also ill.
Mhm. Sure.
But now it's hitting me that they're both not here.
Sure. Yeah, the loss of your parents has made your symptoms, um, you know, kind of just worsen. You're
Mhm.
feeling more depressed since both of your parents have been gone. Sure.
Yeah.
And that's completely normal. You went through two significant losses in your life in a very short period of time. So that is something that I would like to focus on in our future sessions. Thank you so much for your time and for being so honest and transparent with your answers. I know some of these are really tough questions, but you did a really
Hmm.
great job. And I believe that you already set up another session with the admin assistant out there. So I'll see you then.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Take care.